Dozens of allegations, a $100 million lawsuit, and repeated bans later, the controversy between Hans Niemann and the rest of the chess world doesn't seem to be letting off anytime soon. At least that is, until now. That's right. After nearly a year of waiting, we finally have an official authority, a state-level court no less, dealing with the months of controversies to give us an answer once and for all. And let's just say things are not looking good for Niemann. So let's take it from the top and see where the most notorious incident in modern-day chess stands today. Now, while most people were only made aware of the controversy after all the memes started floating around, to fully understand why it became such a big deal, we have to go way back. This is because while all the accusations, statements, and lawsuits came much later, the problem had already started when Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann decided to go head-to-head in the first place. You see, back in August of last year, the now-defunct FTX held an online chess cup with a winner award of a massive $1.6 million. And you guessed it, both Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann were among those competing for that prize. But here's the thing. At the start of the competition, Carlsen was a 31-year-old world champion who had maintained that title since 2013. Without competition, by comparison, Hans Niemann was a relatively unknown 19-year-old who had barely broken into the top 100 when the competition took place, the first online match. So it was understandable that when the two sat down to play, everyone expected Carlsen to be able to come out winning without breaking a sweat. And yet, what happened was the exact opposite. In the very first set of games, Niemann was able to stump Carlsen in the rapid-fire digital confrontation and managed to win in what most people at the time thought was a spectacular display of genius. Now, something like this happening is not unheard of. Prodigies come out of nowhere to defeat people like Carlsen all the time. But here's the thing, those guys already have a streak of winning unexpectedly. For Niemann, this was the first time he had displayed skill on par with someone like Magnus. And as it turns out, he was aware of that reality since when a few reporters outside the competition tried to poke at his win and ask him if he had employed any special tricks, his response was, well, why don't you take a look?
Chess speaks for itself.
That's right, he denied it and walked away, the bigger man. Add to the fact that Carlsen did end up winning their overall match by defeating Niemann 3-1. The Sinkfield Cup. I am of course referring to the now notorious Sinkfield Cup that took place in St. Louis at the beginning of September. You see, while most people had mostly stopped thinking about Niemann's win against Carlsen a few weeks back, it seems that Niemann was not one of them. In fact, when the two appeared against one another, Niemann was already out for blood and had every intention of dethroning a world champion over 200 points above his grade. And against everyone's expectations, he started doing just that. Barely 10 moves into their match, the Norwegian legend was already visibly distressed, while Niemann played as confidently as ever, making incredible moves one after the other. For his 13th move, he took his bishop from f8 to b4, a move which seemed to break Magnus's brain on live TV. As the game progressed, the situation continued to worsen for Carlsen. By move 21, the most respected player in the world was down a pawn and was desperately looking for a way out, while Niemann, who up till this point had never shown his level of skill against anyone, let alone someone of Carlsen's caliber, gave him no quarter. And wouldn't you know it, in spite of Carlsen's desperate attempts at trying to change the status of the game, in the end, he knew when he was beaten and grimaced before yielding to Niemann as he ended the game while looking clearly upset and angered. Third match. 2 weeks later, the two once again confronted each other in the fully online Julius Baer Generation Cup. And as everyone held their breath to see how it would go, the unthinkable happened as Carlsen resigned the game after Niemann's response to his second move, something that immediately escalated all the rumors surrounding Carlsen's opinion of Niemann, more particularly whether he thought Niemann was cheating. Carlsen's shade, and wouldn't you know it, in just a few more days, Carlsen removed further doubt during an interview where he congratulated Niemann while commenting that his mentor, Maxim Delugi, must be teaching him well. And if you can't already tell, Dlugi himself was someone who was accused of and proven to have cheated in a chess match. And finally, 40 days after their first outing, Carlsen officially accused Niemann of cheating in a written statement addressed to the entirety of the chess world, which he uploaded to Twitter. You can pause the video here and read it if you want, but the main points he highlighted were the fact that he had suspected Niemann of cheating before their match in St. Louis, and that he and others had agreed that his progress over the board has been highly unusual for any player, no matter how talented. Public and official response. This, of course, only kicked the already negative public opinion of Niemann into overdrive as people started postulating wild theories such as the infamous theory that Niemann had been using a vibrating toy as an indicator for the right moves, among other things. Other more serious people also got in on the action, including fellow grandmaster and famous online streamer Hikaru Nakamura, among other internet personalities, all of whom pretty universally stood on the side of Carlsen. Several official organizations also got involved. Subsequent chess matches started being unusually tight on their security, especially around Niemann, leading to one instance in which a guard actually scanned Niemann's entire body before letting him into the competition. Niemann's response and lawsuit. Now, whether Niemann did or did not cheat, the fact of the matter is he felt that his reputation was being slandered, without due process, and he decided to retaliate properly. First, he published a thorough, nearly half-hour-long interview detailing his own thoughts about the process, confessing to cheating as a very young online player, but claiming that he has never done so as an official player or in over-the-board chess, saying, quote,
I have never cheated in an over-the-board game. Other when I was 12 years old, I have never, ever, and I would never do that. That is the worst thing I could ever do, cheat in a tournament with prize money.
But that's not all. He also went as far as to sue the people who had allegedly defamed him in an official defamation lawsuit, which he announced on Twitter with the cheeky title of, My Lawsuit Speaks for Itself. Clearly a callback to his original response to similar allegations.
Chess speaks for itself.
But here's where things take a turn. You see, while it has been possible to make a case for Niemann in this mess, the response from the court actually paints a different picture. You see, just a couple months ago, the Missouri court Niemann filed his petition in has officially thrown out the case based on several grounds. And the first and most important one is that the allegations against Niemann and the actions of the people he is intending to sue simply don't fall in the category of undue defamation. In other words, Carlsen, Chase.com, and Nakamura are not necessarily crossing a line when they go against Niemann. So there you have it. The first actual authority in the case has given its verdict, and it is not looking good for Niemann. Still, until an actually relevant authority like the FIDE can get involved, it's gonna be hard to make sure. Until then, that is all we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.